Welcome to Prana Television Canada on behalf of Global Academy of Holistic Leadership and Coaching, and in collaboration with Prana TV. We are happy that we're continuing our regular leadership speaker series, and today is our 39 episode. We're very happy that today our topic is leadership philosophy and engagement, and we're very happy that our regular speaker and trainer, Advocate Jiaur Rahman, is with us. Uh, Let me introduce Advocate Jiaur Rahman. Advocate Jiaur Rahman is Chief Executive Officer, CEO of IITM and adjunct faculty of Independent University, Bangladesh. He um, has a lot of experience in as an academic and also as an worked as an industry. So he has a lot of experience in corporate sector. So we are very happy that he is continuing this session, and uh, this particular series now we are having 39 episodes. Today's topic is very important, as I said, that leadership philosophy and engagement. And we are very delighted Advocate Jio Rahman will be sharing with us his expertise, his knowledge, and his examples of what does the leadership philosophy and engagement means. Thank you very much, Advocate Jio Rahman from Global Academy of Holistic Leadership and Coaching and Prana TV. Our deepest appreciation to you for your continued support uh, to our community. Thank you very much. So you can continue your session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Edward Kobe Mondo. Good evening in Canada and good morning in Bangladesh and rest of the part of the world. Um, I would like to start my session. At the beginning of my session, I would like to remember my father who recently expired on 20th March at 9:45 a.m. in Bangladesh. He was a legendary human being having a lot of leadership quality and part of his life. I believe if we can emulate, then a lot of us can actually build our character, build our leadership, and etc. So a lot of influence he had on us and many other people in life. So I fondly remember my father, and please pray for his departed soul. So thank you very much once again. I'm starting my presentation, and today's topic is on leadership philosophy and engagement. And normally I start off with a few quotations. So let me start with a important quotation by Henry Ford. Um, he says, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right." It sounds a little funny in the first when you try to read this quotation, but what this quotation is trying to say is that it is up to you to decide what you are going to do, what your future is going to hold for you, what type of outcome you would receive in life. It all depends on you. That's why whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That means how you think, what you think, what perspective you hold in your life is something that will drive your future. So if you're positively thinking that you can do so many things or you can engage in so many activities, you probably will be able to get to that point. But if you are always thinking that I don't have that capacity, I'm not fit for a particular job or anything, I will not achieve those targets, then you won't. So that's why this is an important statement of fact that you have to be positive and you have to think certain things that it can be achieved, and then those things will probably be achieved. But if you are negative and if you are constantly thinking that it's not for me, it's not my cup of tea, I will probably not be able to achieve these targets, then it would never happen. So being positive, being proactive, being this person with a drive will actually take you to that elevated position that you have always dreamt of. So we have to be positive in life, and that's how we will move forward. And that's a sort of a philosophy that Henry Ford has been suggesting us to do. Being positive and having that philosophy will drive us forward, moving forward. This is by famous Martin Luther King Jr. He says a genuine leader is not searching for consensus, but a molder of consensus. Not searching for consensus, but a molder of consensus. This is a very powerful statement. What it tries to say that as a leader, you are influencing others. Your job is to create the new enterprise. Your job is to build the new country or new community. And your thoughts are so powerful, and your thoughts have to be conveyed at a spectacular way to your audience who would actually build their lives alongside your philosophy and your vision. So instead of you taking, getting connected to their philosophy, you are here to mold the consensus of everyone around you and give them the direction, give them the light that needs to be cast for you to walk through the path of glory. So successful people are building consensus. Successful people are not searching for consensus. Sometimes in life, obviously, you will also have to search for consensus. Sometimes you have to think that your perspective, is it the proper perspective? Is it the appropriate strategy? You can go and discuss with people and get some feedback. Certain period of time you will do that. That's not a problem. But most of the leader's life is to actually mold consensus. You are actually going to be in the driver's seat. You are actually going to be navigating your car to the destination where you want your car to go. So if you consider life as a car and you're sitting at the driver's seat, and you will be navigating the streets, you will be navigating the obstacles, and then ultimately you will get to the point where you wanted you to go. So your journey has to be designed by you, your journey has to be felt by you, your journey has to be envisioned by you. So once you do that, then uh, everybody will follow you, everybody will support you. So this is another philosophy in life, that you are always planning for the future, and you're always trying to build consensus, build commitment, build acceptance with your philosophy, and then together as a organization, together as a department, or together as a nation, you move forward. So Martin Luther King, being the most prolific political leader, philosopher of the last era. So it's of the, he was the champion civil rights movements guy, person in the United States, and on whom the world looks up to for this type of philosophy of life, philosophy of social change, etc. So absolutely a wonderful statement, and we need to build consensus amongst our community to move forward as a leader, and that's how leadership growth takes place. Moving forward, this is why another famous philosopher of thousands of years back, Plato, not thousands, but 15, many, many years back. So there are some who are natural fitted, who are naturally fitted for philosophy and political leadership, while the rest should follow their lead and let philosophy alone. So what he's trying to say, that there is the concept of naturally fitted person, who are designed, who have been developed, who have developed themselves as a leader, and there are others who are there who would be allowed to support these people, or let the philosophy of these people to move about alone. So in other words, what it's trying to say is that as a human being, certain people will have the gift for taking leadership position and for building the philosophy around the leadership. So these two words actually are intertwined and connected. And for in this case, it's a political leadership we're talking about, but if you turn it into social or business leader, it's also the same. If you are a social leader or a business leader, you will have a set of philosophy, and your philosophy would be the driving driver for the movement that you are wanting to have in your enterprise, in your community. So if you believe in championing certain ideas, championing certain perspective, that is the kind of philosophy that you will hold true in your bosom, in your soul, and that would drive your organization, that will drive your people around you. And what he's saying that most of the people will actually emulate you, follow you, so that success can actually take place. So what we have to know from this statement is the fact that having the philosophy and implementing it is also vital. You might have a good philosophy, but you're not sharing with people. You're not promoting the philosophy out into the market, into the society. Then the philosophy will not work on its own. So, and you, but at the same time, if you build a wonderful philosophy and you share it with the people, then the philosophy itself will move about and change people's perspective and change people's mind, and then ultimately a good leader will actually succeed in life. So the strength of philosophy is what is important as per Plato as well. And the other perspective is that the philosophy and leadership are intertwined. So you need to have a philosophy in order to lead in life. If you don't have a particular philosophy, and if you want to call yourself a leader, then it probably will not be the right thing to do. You are doing disservice to the person who is supposed to be having leadership trait. A person with leadership trait must hold certain perspectives dear. So when you're talking about holding certain perspectives dear, you're actually talking about his or her philosophy in life. So Plato is rightfully saying that you need to build your philosophy and political leadership, and you have to let people follow those philosophy and those perspective. And then the philosophy itself, once it becomes known to all people, then things will start to move, because the philosophy is rooted in logic, philosophy is rooted in futuristic perspective, something good for society, etc., or the community. So that's very important. So moving forward, now I have a definition on leadership. So what is leadership from this philosophical point of view? So leadership is about building a sturdy philosophy that is engaging, dominant, and focuses on core values and beliefs. So a a good leader is truly based on the philosophy he or she holds, and based on the core principles and values and norms that he or she shares into the audience, shares with his stakeholders. So if you are a very, very responsible professional, then people who are working with you or under you will slowly become more responsible, because they will know that this trait of yours, being extremely responsible and getting things done on time and sharing and communicating the right set of information, so that everybody is on the same page. If you hold these type of characteristics straight, then traits, then you are going to be emulating your leader. So it will actually cascade through the enterprise, cascade through the department and the community in which the leader is working. So ultimately, this leadership is about building a very sturdy, strong, very sticky philosophy. This that is engaging, getting people to connect with it, engaging. It is very dominant. That means this philosophy is very sticky, and everybody knows that this organization is based on, let's say, extreme competitiveness. A philosophy might be to succeed through competitiveness. Another philosophy might be to proceed without bringing in exorbitant costs. Some organizations are very frugal. They do things in the most minimalistic perspective. They don't want to spend a lot of money while they are focusing on a reasonably good output. Some organizations do not produce equipment or products or services which are very costly, which 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 are a luxury product or something of that nature. So those are the philosophy that a person, if they hold very strongly, then we can say that the leadership of that organization is very dominant. And then it focuses on the core values. Core values meaning this values might be on being very efficient, being on time bound. Values might be on communicating the right information to the people. No additional communication is thrown out into the market which is not in line with the product and its service quality, or the service of the or the service that we are trying to bring to the market. So you are being very, very honest with your product. You're very, very, very honest with your service. So those are the core beliefs. So leadership is actually bringing all these components together and tying up the future based on the principles and cherishing these principles into the market. So as a human being, we are to follow a philosophy in life, and that those philosophies in life in aggregate builds the leadership for the enterprise or the environment. So moving forward, so leadership philosophy, the what is the totality of the issues which are important in designing or developing a particular leadership philosophy. So I have placed a few. You could actually add to this list, but there is this I have actually collected from the internet. So one is with leading with love. So as a human being, as a leader, you can design your leadership based on the component of love. That means you would try to share love. You would like to love people in the sense of having a wonderful relationship with people and then convince them to move forward. So that's a form of building your leadership into your organization. So leading with love. The next one is leading with optimism. You're always there championing the high spirit. You're telling your people that don't worry, everything is going to be fine. You just do your work. You're sharing very optimistic, very positive statements all the time within your enterprise. So the enterprise is buoyed with a high spirit. So this is leadership with optimism. And when it is true, when you are around people with high energy, when you're people with optimistic perspective, then automatically things move in the right direction. At least things are becoming more fluid, more happier, and environment is present, and things can actually do better. So this is the second one. The third one is leading as a facilitator, learner. So you're always learning, you're facilitating the learning, you're giving some guideline. Maybe you don't know all the information, but you're facilitating the process through which people can learn and then grow themselves and then lead in society. So that can be another leadership philosophy in life. Then the fourth one is focusing on solution as a leader. So you are you are building your career based on the principle of a solution provider. If anything goes wrong, everybody can go to you. So you're always there. Maybe proactively you are there at certain times, but reactively, if people are having difficulty in certain spheres in their lives, then they can come to you and they get some advice, they get some direction. You make some phone calls, you collect people, you break the, if there's a confusion taking place, you do some ice breaking sessions and things get all better. So that's another perspective in leadership philosophy, where you're offering solutions all the time and you're building the enterprise forward. So that's another good philosophy to hold. Then the other one is leadership with laughter. Laughter in the sense is also in line with maybe optimism and love. You're always there, happy. You're promoting happy culture within your enterprise. If there is something wrong that took place, you are not blaming people all the time. You're trying to go to the root cause and solve the problem while you're building an optimistic or a happy environment. So this perspective is also very helpful. This actually gives the confidence in your environment for people to act, and even if they fail in certain areas, they quickly learn so that these issues are solved very quickly and the enterprise moves forward. If an enterprise is having people, happy people, engaging people, then the outcome will always be very positive. So the five perspectives, if you consider and if you apply, if you pick one or two, or if you try to get these issues into your life, then you will always be seeing that things are moving in the right directions. You are never stuck. So leading with love, leading with optimism, being a leader with facilitating the learning process, focusing on a solutions driven approach, and leading with laughter are the perspective in life that as a true champion you need to hold and follow through and implement in your life so others can emulate you and also build their life around these leadership philosophies moving forward. Building a philosophical framework, these are connected issues, so I'll just quickly go through it. You have to, in order for you to build this philosophical framework, you have to know the perspective that things are not going to be the same every day, every single moment. So what you used to do 10 years back, you can't be doing it the same way, the same approach this year as well. Maybe on one or two occasions they will never change, but in most cases in running your leadership enterprise, in in leading your own life, you have to adapt to these changes. So something as a leader you have to be always thinking that change is important for success. Then the issue of learning and adapting, you have to learn because change is going to overtake you. Change may unsettle your perspective. Change may completely wipe out your perspective as to how you were doing things. But you need to learn to adapt to those changes. Optimism and successful team. If you're optimistic, if you're always having the spirit that things are moving in the right direction, or you are here to push forward your enterprise in the right earnest because you have the right tools, you have the right set of knowledge, your team is going to be very successful. So that's a philosophy and a framework you have to design. So having team meetings on a regular basis with a tone of sharing optimism. Optimism is also very important. Honing your unique skills. You need to upgrade your skills and you need to know which skills are very vital for the success of your organization. And you need to constantly hone those skills. You need to build a better enterprise by ensuring that your skills sets are engaging, they are improved on a regular basis, and they are contemporary skills. Then you have to build your structure and you have to build your system. So having the system and the structure in place, people can't do much wrong because you know the systems are designed with a lot of thought, and the structure based on the system is going to be moving the enterprise in the right direction. So structure, system go hand in hand, and that framework is needed to build a successful organization. So these are part of your culture that you have to build. So you can talk about it as in the sense of a philosophy or a philosophical framework or a cultural framework that is needed to be set up in your enterprise for everyone to follow and emulate and implement so that successful outcomes are achieved. Being positive and moving forward with that enterprise would be the goal of everyone, and everyone at the end of their career within this organization will feel that they have achieved some tangible outcome and output. Moving forward, thought process for success. Every human being goes through a thought process. If you're sad, if you notice that if you're sad, for example, we were very sad in the last few days due to my father's passing away. It was it's a game-changing situation. It goes through many people's life. Those of you who have lost your parents, I've lost my parents in the last 20, 30 years. My mom passed away in 1997, and now my father in 2021. So you have to be building your life around a positive mindset. So if you're sad, things will not work out appropriately. You will definitely find moments of not being able to solve the puzzle. You're confused. You're running around with a pillar to post, but you're not truly getting the feel for things happening. You're not in the present. You're moving about. So that will not be a very that should not be the perspective. Sometimes you can't hold it. You can't control your emotions, that's for sure, specifically when there is a death in the family. But in all other matters, you have to be positively oriented yourself, positive orientation. So always on a daily basis, if you start your day with a positive orientation, that today is going to be a very successful day for me. I'm going to be very successful today, and I'm going to achieve a spectacular outcome today. So your thought processes are going to be redefined, recalibrated, so that you are automatically having these positive statements in your head, and then your day will be very effective. But if you wake up with a feeling that, oh my God, I am going to have a miserable day, everything has gone wrong yesterday, and I'm sure the same thing will happen today, then obviously things will not pan out as you wish it to be. So having these negative stream of thought, you have to somehow manage to overcome. You have to be driven by the solutions mindset. So we have to go to the core as to why I'm having these negative thoughts, and then pick those issues one at a time and try to address it. If you're swimming in an ocean of problems, then you will not be able to actually bounce back. What you need to do is to create some tributaries from the ocean, solve those problems within those tributaries, small canals, and let's say small river channels. You solve the problem, then you slowly attack the core of the problem, and that's how you can actually solve the problem. Sometimes it's very important, and in order for you to actually go through that process, you have to be inspiring your mind. You have to build an inspirational model for your team, constantly pushing them to be more successful. You have to tell them that as a human being, you can do more, and which is also true. Every person has grand capacity. Sometimes we don't even know. So you have to nourish and nurture those perspectives. So offering inspiration on a regular basis, specifically in times of chaos, in times of sadness, those are the vital tools that you have to uh, adhere to. Change will overtake you. We had talked about change. You have to have that framework in your mind that if you don't change will overtake you, and then your life is going to be over. You're going to amount to nothing because others have overtaken you. You are no longer the shining star that you thought you were, because you never tried to put the gloss on the shine on your soul, on your work activity, etc. So that's not good. Having high octane mindset is connected to being positive, connected to having a high inspiration. So high octane mindset, always buoyant, always spirited, always energetic is very important. The energy is something that rubs onto other people. If you are very positive, if you are very energetic, things work out very nicely. If you go, I'm sure you have gone through life where you have actually seen people who are extremely energetic. And if you can go back and reflect your moments with them, you will see that you have done more success around these people. Your mind got reoriented and recalibrated. And that is why when people are with true leaders, true champions, for example, people around my father, he was actually a leader in Bangladesh society. And people who worked with him, if you ask them to share their moments with my father's life, they will always say that this person was so workaholic, so professional, so dedicated, that we actually picked up some of his traits, and we have actually changed our lives alongside this person. So if you're like my father, if you are finding people like my father, then ultimately you will be high octane. You will have a high octane mindset. You will always have a no can do attitude. You will always have the attitude of can do. You will never have the no can do attitude. You will be moving with high energy. So energy levels will be significantly strengthened. So these are part of your thought process for leading in a successful life. So, and in this process, you also have to be candid. Having a high octane mindset is important, but if you don't have the knowledge, if you don't have the proper communication skills, then it will be very hard for you to share your things that is going through, boiling within your soul. You don't have the capacity to share. You will never be able to push the people with that particular energy that you are boiling within. So that's important to know, that having the spirit, having this high positive mindset, and having this tremendous inspiration within is not going to be very effective unless you can bounce your ideas onto your audience, everybody around you. So being very open and communicating is very important. And the reason I use the word open is because you have to also realize that not everybody will have that capacity. So you can't expect a normal person to be a champion in, let's say, physics, and then ultimately that person wins the Nobel Prize. That is not possible, even if you are high octane, if you offer inspiration day in, day out. That will not happen. So being open to this thought process that not everybody will achieve grand success, but having this philosophy of being open to change is very important, and that almost everybody has a grand capacity to be better, much better of himself or herself, much better version of himself or herself if they work hard. So that's the philosophy what I am suggesting that we need to hold, cherish, and share within the enterprises, within the society in which you work. And as a leader, these are the thought process for success. If you pick a few of them and start applying it from today, I tell you that tomorrow will be slightly better and the future will be much better for you. So I come to you with a plea that please pick a few of these, apply it in your life, and see how things are moving. Being positive is the first and foremost principle that you have to hold true in your soul. So be positive, be a champion spirit, and push these leadership philosophies in your life and the life of people around you. Then success will ultimately be yours. So moving forward, philosophy of leaders, I have just covered all of that. Every leader is success driven. Every person who wants to lead will be positive and always engaging in positive engagement and output. The successful leaders will have lots of leadership thoughts and ideas that he or she will try to champion within his lifespan. A good leader does not go into a remorseful condition. They accept failure, learn from it, and bounce back. So bouncing back is a very important successful trait for a leader. Accommodate and evolve. A good leader allows others to grow. It's very, very important. You don't want to be the shining star yourself. The world's greatest champions in leadership, be it spiritual, be it social or political or business, they are always bringing other people up. So a great leader is building everyone around them so that the enterprise or the environment in which he or she is moving truly turns to be a spirited environment, a lovely environment, and success will automatically come because it's a collective effort that actually brings success. No one person can build success all by himself. He or she has to get the support of everyone else. And the successful leader is always refining ideas and promoting this positive change. Refining ideas, that means you're open to change, you're always adding new perspectives. So the philosophy of a good leader must encapsulate all of these perspectives and traits, and then success will be yours. So moving forward, I am at the end of my presentation. I end with a million dollar question. So today's billion dollar question is, can only leadership philosophy take a company and organization to the next level? Absolutely not. Just by having a wonderful philosophy will not work out. You have to make that roll out into your organization. So it's not just about speaking, it's about doing. So if you speak of high faluting ideas and principles, but you are not rolling these ideas into your own life, you are telling people as to how to be very very efficient. You're telling people how to be extremely time bound and being ethical and responsible, but you are failing miserably in some of these components. Then the leadership will never actually take shape. It will be heard, it will come through your ears through one channel, and it will fleet away through the other years to the other year. So it will not be sticky. It will be like a sound. It will come through your soul. It may impact you for a few seconds, and then it will flitter away. It will wither away. So that's not a true perspective of a true leader. So if you truly want your organization to succeed or the environment, then whatever philosophy you're sharing, it must be taken to the next level by your own actions. So action speaks louder than words. So this is a age old adage. You cannot be just talking and not implementing and rolling out those philosophy. So in your organization, if you want your organization to go to the next level, to achieve grander outcome, you must implement the philosophy that you're stating in your vision statement, in your mission statement, in your organizational internal culture, everything. Though they have to be reflective. So ultimately, success will be yours. So with that, I end today's session on leadership philosophy. So I believe as a human being, we need these principles into our lives. And with that, I end today's session. So thank you very much. Back to you, Edward Probirmondo.
Thank you very much, Advocate Gio Roman, for your presentation. And we're very glad that we completed this session, leadership philosophy and engagement. With that, I encourage our audience to watch us, and also encourage you to develop your skill, because this during this pandemic, or even right after that, right, we need to develop our skill, um, personally and also professionally. The purpose of this session is to help our community member so that they can develop their personal skill, also the professional skill. So with that, our leadership speaker series is actually now today we completed 39 episode. And as you know that we are running these sessions from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and Advocate Jio Rahman is from Bangladesh. So thank you very much, Advocate Jio Rahman, for your passion, for your commitment, for your love, for your dedication, and your heart to help the community so that they can get the skill, the right skill that is needed. And leadership skill is one of the skill that personally we need, and also professionally we need, so that we can compete, right? And also emotionally intelligent and doing better, and so that we can have a balance in life. So with that, I thank you again, and we'll welcome you for our next session in next week, same time. As you know, our Edmonton, Alberta, which is Mountain Standard Time, it is 9 p.m. At on Wednesday night, and in Ottawa, Toronto, that is Eastern Standard Time, is 11 p.m. And in Dhaka, Bangladesh, um, it is 9 a.m. on Thursday morning, and in Indian time is 8:30 a.m. on Thursday morning. Thank you very much, those who are watching us, and also you can contact us through our social media, through our official Facebook page, and also we'll be uploading this one in our YouTube channel, so you can watch us. There are all the sessions are there, so you can watch our academy, Global Academy of Holistic Leadership and Coaching. our official YouTube channel. You can see all the session, and we encourage you to at least take it seriously, because see, right now we have a lot of challenges, and let us help ourselves, let us help our organization, help our nation, and help ourselves. Thank you very much. With that, may Almighty bless all of you. Stay safe and stay blessed.
Thank you.